Yeah.
Okay. Saturday is... sorry. This Saturday, it's Hennessy Gold Cup Day, Coral Gold Cup Day, if you want to give it its new official name. But it'll always be the Hennessy. And then we've got the Fighting Fifth up at Newcastle. Big day in the racing calendar, just like it was last weekend. Hopefully you caught our video last weekend because we absolutely smashed it, mate, didn't we?
Oh, there wasn't many losers we gave last weekend, that's for sure. So we're hoping to follow up again this Saturday.
We covered 12 races last week, and we actually called 11 of the winners, which is probably somewhere near a career best for us on one of these videos.
If you find anyone else doing that, let me know.
Yeah, exactly. But look, we'll try and do our best for you again today. There's actually not that many races on ITV. What we're going to do is go through the free-to-air stuff, mainly because that means everybody can just switch the TV on and follow and have a punt in the races on Saturday. So let's start in the sort of order that ITV was showing the races. So the first race on ITV on Saturday will be the 140. Tom, it's I suppose you could say a competitive looking handicap hurdle over 2.5 miles, a class 2 event. It's quite sort of, I suppose there's lots of nice horses to look at in this, but do you want to give us where your thoughts and feelings lie at this moment in time?
Yeah, definitely. I think Friendship's well worth keeping on side of for at least the time being. Was a good winner at Cheltenham. Prior to that, fell at Chepstow. It was unfortunate that day. But look, got things right up at Cheltenham in a very competitive field, to be fair. Won really nicely, going away by four or so lengths.
Yeah.
Even go back last year, actually. Ran over course distance at Newbury behind none other than the New Lion. And there's only 5 lengths back that day. And in third was Electric Mason, who won a really competitive hurdle up at Haydock the other day. So he's got all the form in the book. And I think he's definitely got more to come off his mark. I don't think he's finished winning, that's for sure. He's the one in the race for me.
Yeah, I agree. I think Friendship, Harry Cobden's booked. Ben Jones is obviously going to be riding for his boss, Ben Pauling, in the race with Personal Ambition, who you could give a reasonable squeak to. Ben would probably still get the chance if he really wanted to push it to ride this Friendship. But I'm guessing that Personal Ambition has got a reasonable squeak himself, already returning in a nice little hurdle race up at Carlisle last time, finishing just 4 and a bit lengths back. So I expect that one to come on for its run, but Friendship just catches the eye. Harry Cobden's riding pretty well at the moment. He's not taking rides that aren't genuinely without a chance. So I think Friendship's the one to beat. He's definitely still on an upward curve. 136, given his form of his last race, and I think also, Tom, the form of his novice campaign. I know he fell once and going well, but it's worked out really well.
Really good novice campaign, and also he's very consistent, to be fair. Apart from that small blip up at Chepstow, he's always sort of bang there and reliable sort. I think you pay your money, take your chance, and he will definitely give you a good run, that's for sure.
A couple of other interesting runners in the race. I'll mention one, and I think Tom will then go and mention one. Dargini for Harry Derham. His horses again are in great form. This horse won at Uttoxeter last time. That was on its return to the race course. Always been quite a nice horse, this one with a fair bit of ability, so that they've always kind of thought a fair bit about. He beat some decent horses in Look Away Into the Park. Disco Davis in that race as well. And you can go back and even No Ordinary Joe was in that race, beating a fair bit in distance. But I just think that Dargini is a decent price at 12-1. I will say Friendship is my main one. I think you wanted to also mention...
Yeah, what price was Ludor on there for Tom Simmons? Around 6-1 at the moment. Yeah, that absolutely bolted up at Bangor on reappearance. Had some good form from last year as well. Was only 5 lengths behind Horace's Pearl. He's a very good horse for Thurgood O'Brien. He went well in the handicap for his last
£13.
Yeah, which is going to make life a lot tougher. However, still a young horse on an upward curve, so you wouldn't write that one.
And there's a horse in here you're a little bit disappointed to kind of half see here, because you kind of had a handicap in mind for it. Well, we're hoping to see it in a handicap.
That's the one for later on.
Oh, is it?
That's right, okay. Same colours though.
Is it? Yeah, they might be having it off. Okay, yeah. So we'll save that. We'll keep that one up our sleeve. Okay, free-to-air races. The next race, right? This one is going to capture all of your imagination. It's the Fighting Fifth. It's the return of Constitution Hill, the New Lion, and Anzadam, who comes over from Ireland to take his chance. Some have a view on what this chance is about, but that's interesting. You have last year's champion hurdle winner, albeit a fortuitous winner, and the supplemented horse, the Nemean Lion, who, although is 100 to 1 shot, is a classy enough horse in his own right off a mark of 151, but possibly in against some of the best here. So, Tom, let's try and pick the race apart. So first of all, before we give a selection, how do you envisage the race panning out in terms of tactics? Because I think that could play a big part here.
I can't imagine for one moment either the New Lion or Constitution Hill are going to want to get on with things. So given that, I think the likely pace is going to come from probably Golden Ace, I would have thought. Very disappointing, wasn't she, the last day? I don't know
Weatherby,
I don't know what's come about from that. Did you hear anything?
Jeremy Scott has essentially said, we just don't know why she done that.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably put a line for it, but it'd definitely worry, wouldn't you? A fortunate winner of last year's champion hurdle, but in all fairness to the horse, run a cracker at Punchdown after to prove it wasn't as much of a fluke.
It definitely wasn't a fluke how well she ran.
I mean, yeah,
but she was a lucky winner, wasn't
very, very lucky winner. Yeah, it would never have happened having Constitution Hill or State Man stay up. But look, they're there to be jumped.
Exactly.
But moving on to the race as it hots up, I think I'm all over the New Lion here. Immaculate record, unbeaten to date. Has a bit to find on ratings of Constitution Hill, but that one, as we all know, is probably nowhere near the horse that we once saw. If you're going to be back in that one, you're going to be hoping of a sort of repeat run of first time out last season at Kempton. But for me, it's just taken too much of a chance. I mean, the season just went massively downhill after that. Ran an absolute shocker up at Punchdown. Henderson sort of blamed himself for running that day on the back of two really heavy falls, and it probably wasn't right to run. But look, everyone makes mistakes here and there. But yeah, again, Amsterdam, very unexposed type, seriously well regarded by Willie Mullins. Most of his form was coming on very soft, heavy ground. So onto this slightly better ground forecast does pose a question.
He's a proper travelly thing, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
Real strong traveller.
Also, when Willie speaks, you have to take notice.
Yeah,
but
of course.
For me, it's a huge step up on what's achieved so far. But look, we could go and see an absolute superstar on Saturday. But I'll be sticking with the New Lion here. Plenty of gears, loads of speed. I see him just picking them off one by one towards the end and kicking on clear to quite a close success, to be fair.
Yeah, I think I see something fairly similar, to be honest. Almost, I can see Constitution Hill kind of coming off that bend, trying to kick, kind of with a mindset of almost Nico's with the mindset of if he's still got it, he'll go away from them, and I don't think he'll go away from them.
I really want to see him run his race.
I think he'll tow them into the race, don't you, Tom?
Yeah, look, if he's on his A game and he's at his best, the ratings speak for itself. He's rated 170. The New Lion's 159. He's got £11 to find off level weight. So if he turns up and he's on his absolute A game, they're all going to have to go some. But for me, it's just taking too much of a chance, and I'd love to see it rather than be confident beforehand. That's for sure. But look, he's a people's horse, and I wish him all the best. But for me, it's the New Lion. He's really, really going places after that fantastic campaign last year.
Yeah, I'd see it. The New Lion travelling and the Zam, I can see them both coming either side of Constitution Hill almost.
That's what we want to see, though, isn't it?
And two out, the three of them there.
Yeah.
And I think that the New Lion will kick and outstay
he's
them.
Got the speed and stamina, hasn't he?
And that's
got it all.
I see. He has got. I think he's potentially a superstar, and he's already been a superstar. But I mean, this could be the start of people taking the New Lion seriously. Because to be honest, I think a lot of people like to cram him for one reason or another. He's a brilliant racehorse, and I really hope he does it tomorrow and he lays down that.
That novice he won at the festival.
Yeah,
I think that was the best novice of the whole meeting, to be honest. With Final Demand, the Yellow Clay, it was a hell of a race to watch. And I think even beforehand, they had stacks of good form, didn't they, leading into that. And, he put it to bed in the closing stages. I thought he was pretty comfortable at the line, to be honest.
That was the best novice of the last 5 years, let alone the meeting. So anyway, right, we'll kick on. Back to Newbury is the 2:15. Hopefully we've given you lots of clues as to where we're going up at Newcastle for the Fighting Fifth, but we're back at Newbury for the... Is this the Jerry Fielder?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it's a race, actually. Interestingly enough, I'll tell you, the first thing that's caught my eye is that This is a race that Nicky Henderson's targeted horses at year on year on year, right? You can go back through. In fact, this might be the first year for many years he's not had a runner. Live Conti's your current favourite. Now, Live Conti ran a really good race up at Aintree, but he was really well mapped out by the Skeltons to do that. And he finished second to Murcia, who we know, good friend of ours, Paddy Lee, thinks is probably better than it actually is. But she's a really nice horse, Murcia. She was given receipt of £7. Live Conti easily put up his career best performance. He's now for a mark of 143. Comes in here, and I think she's going to struggle to give the wet away to an informed rival in Indemnity.
I think all the others will be loving the fact that one's in there, keeping the weights down, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if, Live Conti has the best form often by a mile, but to love 12 stone round there in a competitive field would be hell of a performance, wouldn't it, on comeback for such an unexposed type. Look, I don't think this is the race I definitely envisage this horse running in, but I've got to mention last rodeo as a horse I really liked from last year. Landed a bit of a touch up at Lingfield. That was over 2.5 miles on soft ground, and I do kind of feel it needs a bit of a trip. However, on comeback at Cheltenham, it got really, really badly hampered at quite an early stage. It did remarkably well to finish 9th, actually, and was a big eye catcher for me. I actually backed it at the last meeting only for them to put it out last minute, which I was a bit gutted about because it's on at nice prices. But yeah, to see it here, line 2 mile, it's a bit of a shock, I think. But I mean, Christian Williams is no fool.
No.
He must think this horse has plenty of speed about him as well. So, off 10 stone free, very exposed type. I think he's got lots of ability. I will be definitely backing this one each way. And if it doesn't work out Saturday, I promise you, keep following this horse because it will pop up for sure.
I'd stick with Indemnity for me. I think she's the informed rival. Her form line with Alexi is very sexy. We
Like
think that Alexi is a very nice, fast improving horse. Not quite sure where the ceiling is on that one, but she was very close to Alexi, only beaten 3 and a bit lengths. She travelled as well as Alexi right to the last, but Alexi just seemed to have that extra gear at the end of the race. Move it like Mini back in horses that you just know are half decent back in the field as well. I think this suits really well. I think she'll go very, very close, especially getting that weight because of the two horses that give it to him, Mioje and Live Conti, making it much easier for those with lower weights. Right, the next race where we stay at Newbury, I believe. Is that right? Have I missed a race?
Yep.
We do stay at Newbury, which is for the 5 to 3, the 255. It is the Hennessy. It's the Coral Gold Cup, as it's known in its new form. Tom, it's a competitive looking field, that's for sure.
Very competitive. I don't think there's a standout search, possibly Town, who had a great campaign, ended up winning the Ultima at Cheltenham. Really nice sort. I mean, you'd like to see it fully wound up here from Lucien Ross's yard to go and win this on its reappearance, wouldn't you? But I'm going to take a chance each way on the changing man here. I think it's a bet to nothing. Ultra consistent horse, ran absolutely fine up at Ascot on its reappearance behind Henry's Friend. We were there that day and we were on both, weren't we? So we could lose. Off 10 stone 12 is reasonably well handicapped, I think. Just always bang there, and it was actually second to Town at Cheltenham. There's a big sort of weight pull here, I think I'm right in saying. I'm just going to take a chance. He's a solid performer and you kind of know what you're going to get.
Yeah. I think the changing man's got a chance for Tizards. It's a horse I don't know why, but I've really just latched onto this horse as one that is going to pick up a big handicap someday. And I think his first run back this season was pretty encouraging, where he lumped a fair bit of weight around and was beaten by Henry's Friend, who just seemed to be on his A game that day, Henry's Friend, and just picked the change man, who went the widest way round, all the way round the outside at Ascot. I think probably just making sure, just getting a clear run, and he stays pretty strongly. I think the problem is with the changing man is he seems to be that horse that always runs into one really well handicapped horse. But I expect him to run his race, and I think for that he's a fairly solid play in the race.
I think it's worth pointing out, like I said, the weight turnaround. Town was actually a receipt of £13 in the Ultima. On this occasion, and we call it the Hennessy still, I think there's £1 between them.
Yeah.
So for 11 length defeat and at the prices, I think it's definitely worth going with the changing man.
Yeah. And then finally, there's one at a massive price, which I have to give you just because the truth is, if I didn't say this and this popped up in the Hennessy, I'd be absolutely gutted. But they are playing with Moon Durange for something, and he's got an official rating of 136 over fences, and his first 2 runs back this season have both been over hurdles. The first one was actually quite decent. He finished just 4 and a bit lengths back to Hewitt, giving that a couple of pounds. So that wasn't a bad little run. He then come to Cheltenham and run over hurdles in the race that Marchantou and Electric Mason went and won. That's already looking a reasonable race. He was beaten 21 and a bit lengths, which is probably about right given the quality of the field that day. He's back over fences, going left-handed, off 10 stone 5 with a £3 claimer on board. I think they're definitely doing something with it, whether this is the day or there's the Cheltenham handicap in mind, maybe in a couple of weeks' time, who knows. But Moon Durange, definitely a fascinating runner for me as well. So I'm the Changing Man and Moon Durange are the 2 that I'm going to stick with as each way plays.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, then we go up to Newcastle, which is for the rehearsal chase. A rehearsal for, I mean, these are starting to, the Hennessy is for me is now a Grand National trial. This is probably something similar because we've got horses like Cruise Control in there who is definitely being campaigned towards.
He's a proper spring horse, isn't he? Yeah, he seems to get better as the season goes on.
So let's talk about horses or ones that you like, Tom. What do you like in this?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be giving up on Confusion just yet. I thought it was really progressive type up until latest. I think it was last Saturday. It was unseated up at Haydock when well fancied for the long distance race. I wouldn't be giving up on that. It was quite early on in the race, wasn't it? So didn't have much running taken out of it. The one that caught the eye pretty most was Doc Pick Me, who had a recent spin over hurdles at Newbury behind Haiti Galers. Ran absolutely fine that day. But I think most notable thing is it absolutely loves the course and distance here at Newcastle. And off such a low weight, with Charlie Maggs taking off the £5 on, ground that suits as well, has to have a right chance, I think, on 7 to 1.
Yeah.
He was the one I liked.
Yeah, and for me, I stick with that as well. I think Doc Pick Me is one of the better bets. I mean, he's 7 to 1 at the minute. He's an amazing price.
Yeah.
I think Doc Pick Me will definitely run a reasonable race. The only other one that kind of caught my eye, and it did last time because I put it up, was Hold That Taut for Venetia Williams. Before we come on camera, me and Tom both said when Venetians start winning,
you just bang,
they just go bang, 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 and they go in. And it's a well-known fact that happens. And just before we come on air, Venetia's horse goes and wins them. I think it's the first at Uttoxeter. So it is one of those yards that happens. So I wouldn't be completely shocked if that run a good race, because his reappearance run at Bangor was really decent, to be fair, and it was a run that you could definitely hike up because it went the furthest way round and kind of, always looked beaten but stayed on nice enough in the end. So that's for me. Doc Pick Me, but Hold That Thought is one I'm fairly interested in. Okay, the final race on ITV on the day is a race we're delighted to cover, really, because again, an ITV runner for Sam Drinkwater, your brother, Tom, and this is one of his. Let's not beat around the bush. He's one of his real nicer horses, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, be one of our stable stars, that's for sure. He's been a great horse, really, for the team. Kevin Price who owns him, top bloke. We've had some great days out with this horse. Probably notably up at Ayr. That was a fantastic time. But he's been really, really progressive. He had his problems, but fair play to Kevin and Sam. They've been extremely patient with this horse, and what he's done on the track, he's firmly rewarded them all. We completely look forward to it. That's for sure. Big days racing, ITV. It's competitive fields, but I think he's fit and ready to rock and roll. So he loves Newbury. Everything looks set for a big run.
Yep.
I'd be quite like his chances. I think Javer Allen is probably the one they've all got to go and beat. Jane Williams is in great form, and I thought this one ran a lovely race at Aintree in a fair field, to be fair.
Yeah.
And it knows how to win as well. Importantly, it's only a 6-year-old at the right end of the handicap stuff, 126, I think, and probably still a bit more to come from that one. So, we're looking forward to the day, and hopefully we'll run a big race.
Rathgore Hill's a really smart horse, so I mean, everything Tom said is absolutely right. Interesting jockey booking in terms of Brendan Powell, Simon Twiston, who's been riding horses. His commitments are up at Bangor by the looks of it, which is fair enough because his boss is his father, so I'm sure he's had to go shoot up there. But Brendan Powell's riding out of his absolute skin. There's probably not many riding better at this moment in time, especially the horses he's getting to ride for Joe Tizard. He's having a right time of it. He's a great lad. He's a great jockey. So I don't think there's anything to be put off there. Agree with Tom on his sentiments around Javier Elen. I think that will take a step forward from his first run, finishing fourth. Doyen Dubar is quite fascinating for Nicky Richards. Interesting jockey booking of Harry Cobden, who again is riding really well at this moment in time. Harry, he seems to be full of confidence on whatever he seems to ride. This is a horse that knows how to win already in his short fledgling career, and his last visit down south was quite fascinating to me. He finished second to Vincenzo off level weight, beating 3 1/4 lengths. Well, Vincenzo's a really nice horse. That horse is one that's gone and finished second in the Paddy Power this season already. So there's a reasonable length and depth to the quality of that form for Doyen Dubar as well. All I can say is we'll be there Saturday and we'll be cheering on Rathgall Hill. I won't have a bet in the race. I'll just hopefully cheer on and hope that Rathgall does the business.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, that's Saturday's runners concluded. Hopefully we've helped find you a winner or two. It's never easy to go through cards on big days like this, but we'll do our absolute best. Let's all cheer on the new Lion, because that's the one that, for me, will give me a massive kick on Saturday if we see that go past Constitution Hill. I'd love to see go past Constitution Hill. Constitution Hill beating only a couple of lengths, so the form is solid enough.
Yeah.
And then we know we're on to a good thing for the champion. Anyway, thanks for listening.
Thanks for watching.
Cheers.